Welcome to the High-Tech Investments News Report for Week 32. The news report covers some of the many investments projects High-Tech Investments is currently involved in so you can follow our progress. We hope you will enjoy this news feed and look forward to your comments and remarks.
Hi, Bo here, and welcome back to this week's news report, where this particular one here has more positive notes to it than you have seen in our previous news report. So the Forex market has definitely been a very, very difficult one. A lot of different trending currencies. A couple of months ago, it was the Japanese yen. Since then, pretty much all the other ones have just joined in. And also last week, it was the Swiss francs that were pulling a lot of different currency pairs in one direction only. And that is also highly unusual because normally some of them will get stronger versus, for example, the Swiss francs. Other ones will lose a bit. But to see all of them go in the same direction is once again one in a lifetime, or maybe one in a 5 or 10 year period. Definitely, we've been in here now for about 5 years. We haven't seen anything like that before on the Forex market. But obviously, the Forex market, as we mentioned many times here before, it will do what it has to do, and the rest of us simply have to follow and we have to adapt. But the good news here is we have new all-time high profits on many of our EAs this particular week here. Seems to come many times after you have a heavy drawdown. All of a sudden the market turns around and then you are cashing in big time. Some EAs are obviously better at it than others without the heavy and massive drawdowns. So we're going to have a look through that here today on the news report. And on top of this, obviously Alex has also gone into part of the market to basically put out a video regarding the trending versus the silent markets. So we're going to have a look at all this all the way here in this particular video today. So stay tuned, put yourself in front of the video here with a tea or a cup of coffee, and let's get started. Unfortunately, there's no news when it actually comes to Yieldnodes. What you have here is obviously the entry platform, so the main dashboard that you have with Yieldnodes. And the last time we actually mentioned Yieldnodes and the update in here was the audit coin reserves that you can go in and have a closer look at. You can see how much is actually being staked from the individual coins. That's the only news that we have from Yieldnodes. No new deadlines or anything else has changed in the past couple of weeks. So obviously, again, disappointing. We really want to see a deadline from Yieldnodes of when we can expect the next parts to happen or get a reasonable update on what is actually going on with the business of Yieldnodes Pro and Decenomy here also. In the meantime, let's go and have a look at the SAP coin. Nothing has really happened. As you can see on the red circle here, this is where we left it last week. And again, this is where it ended up in this particular week here. Only very small movements, not really much buying or selling. And again, this only happens, of course, when we see some good positive news coming out of there with a proper business plan for the SAP coins and all the other ones that the Decenomy actually holds at the moment, which is about 17, 18 or 19 coins thereabouts. We have our SAP coin and we are staking this particular one here. And we are happy to see that finally something moved again. We did have a bit of a gap. So the last one we had before this week's was 27th of July. Since then, nothing really happened. And then all of a sudden, we get a couple of ones day by day here. First on the 9th and then on the 10th of April, 2 times 280 SAPs. And that obviously gives us 560 for the week. And also this is for the month until now, and about 2.1%. So pretty much where we are normally at. You'll see here that February, March and April was very similar. So if we don't get anything else in there, then at least we have hit the bottom already now. This is the lowest, but obviously we would like to see something again like January or even May in order to get some extra SAP in should the things change around. So this is pretty much for free that we are running this at the moment. So why not keep the coins alive until we get news? Same here is also for the PNY. Also, we had the last one coming in on the 2nd of August. And we had one on the 1st of August. So they also came in pairs. And in this particular one here, actually twice in one day on the 11th of August. So that's a nice little one here with 266 PNY or 1.2%. So already now here, all good looks pretty well. It has outpaced the month of May and up at the level of March, and hopefully we'll see a few more entry points here later on in the month. We're only halfway through, so there's a good chance that that's going to happen. We also have to look at Bitcoin versus USDT. This also seems to happen similar to where we were last week. So again here about 58,000, and then that's also where we ended up at the end of that particular week. It doesn't mean that obviously we didn't have movement. It went all the way down to 50,000 and then it shot up at the other end, getting close to 62, 63,000 in here, just crossing over the line, only to drop back and trade about 58,259 at the time that this video here was made. Also on the Trillant news platform, there's pretty much no news. You have seen the same one in the past couple of weeks, because we are now going from, instead of a weekly news report, there will now be a monthly one. We haven't seen the first monthly one yet. We thought that that would be on the first of the month. Maybe it's going to be at the end of the month instead. So in the meantime, let's go to CoinStore and have a look at the 3 coin, and that has certainly flunked and dumped big time. Previously we only had point and then 3 zeros. Now we are up to 4 zeros and then 790. That's where we were on the red circle here last week. Since then there has been a dump all the way down to quadruple, I guess, 4 zeros, 1, 2, 2. Obviously not a very good development overall. Looks like the volume is up, but definitely the price is not. And that's the more important thing for us. So very unfortunate development also here with the 3 coin for now. Good development is on the Trade Explorer. Don't forget we had the 22 pair. That account has stopped, and we will most probably do a new one here, but it will take definitely quite a few weeks or a month or two to make sure that everything runs a-okay before it can come back on the Couplelink service. In the meantime, the 10 pair one is still going very, very strong, as you can see. Has a brand new all-time high of $1,044, and that also means that actually made up 14.4% just for that particular week, which is obviously a massive return. And if we have a closer look at the numbers itself, you can see the weekly and monthly returns. They look very good. Don't forget, we are not increasing the lot size, always trading it as it was $10,000. History 455 days. And if we have a look at the individual weeks going back, we can see that all of a sudden in the past couple of weeks with the heavy drawdowns, we can see 600 here for the middle of July, 555, and then now here in August, 1,444. Massive jump up here. Again, a lot of movements in the market. Normally in the summertime things come down, but that has certainly not been the case this particular year. So the 10 pair one is definitely the one to look out for, and you should be able to cash in quite well, more than 20% if you have been trading this one in the past couple of months. We also need to go and have a look at the Wave Liberator for week 32. Also here, the top 5 is again all-time highs. Aussie USD came in with $334 or 33.4%. New Zealand Swiss francs $236 or 23.6%. And then US Swiss francs, you can see the Swiss francs is showing up several times in here with 232 or 23.2%. Aussie Japanese has also been on the move with $170 or 17%. And then New Zealand USD, also here $118 or 11.8%. Overall for those top 5, just for that particular week, it made $1,090 or 21.8%. So again here, huge and massive increase on the Wave Liberator. If we have a look at the entire portfolio, don't forget again, we have about 22 running, and you can see how smooth it's been. We have made some adjustment and some changes, as I mentioned in previous videos in here, to try and basically lower the drawdown and at the same time also get some increased profit. And that has certainly worked out. I don't think it's our settings only. It's certainly also the market. Total returns is 15%, monthly returns 1.3, weekly returns 0.3, so that hasn't really changed much. And also the trade win 68.1, but there is an awful lot of trades that has gone past this before. You can see 359 days, so we are very close to the 1 year. But have a look at the change in the past couple of weeks. It has been very smooth, straightforward, and all of a sudden this one has shot up big time. And at the same time, you'll notice also that the floating profit and loss has come down quite significantly again. With a balance of 244,000, you only have $4,460 so in minus. That is obviously a minute drawdown overall. You can find a lot more details on the individual currency pairs if you want to have a look at them. Some of them are still in drawdown. That's why you have the profit and loss, of course. Other one is cashing in big time. So you can again handpick the best ones that you want. And by clicking one of these icons in here, it will take you straight to the FX Blue site, and you can see all the details that you want to know about the profits, about the drawdowns, all the items in here for the currency pairs. We're also going to have a look at obviously the graph again. You can see it even more violent going up in the past couple of weeks. And when we have a look at the net profits, you will have here that we have been circling around 500-600 mark. That was back in March and April where things were going quite well. Since then it stabilized very much, just short of $400, and then things started to pick up in July. Last week we reported 1,408 in profit. Now it's all the way up to 2018. So it's definitely been some volatile weeks in here, but it's good to see that the EA is actually cashing in quite nicely. RSI Liberator has also done extremely well also here. So we are getting to the all-time highs for week 32. You'll notice here again, Swiss francs, Japanese is at the top. So those are the ones I spoke about also in the beginning of the video. So very volatile with $323 or 32.3%. And again, this is just a week's profit. New Zealand Japanese, definitely the New Zealand one has also been playing up, $239 or 23.9%. Great British Pounds, which is normally the one that is fluctuating a lot, also here together with Swiss francs, made $158 or 15.8%. And then Euro Great British Pounds, $95 or 9.5%. Then followed by Great British Pounds Japanese. So once again, the Japanese one has been on the move also this week. $94 or 9.4%, and overall those top fives in here made $909 or 18.2%. Once again, just for 1 week. It's quite astonishing, quite amazing how the Forex market has turned out in recent weeks. We're going to have a closer look at that portfolio here also. Again, this is not so old, 128 days. Started off at 220, so 22 EA set up with $10,000. And also here the drawdown has dropped, not as far as the other one, so it's still in minus 7,000, but the equity is overall positive from where we started with a close profit of more than $10,000. Margin level, plenty of that. Total return is 2.0%, and then the monthly returns is 1.2. That has actually gone up. Previously it was a bit on the lower side, about 1%, and then weekly returns we have 0.3. Overall trade wins also here quite high, 67.5%. So it's doing quite well with more than 27,000 pips taken in and more than 22 trades per day. So very active EAs. You can go and find a lot more details also here on the individual currency pairs that you want to trade, which ones are the best ones. Try and pick a handful or two, put them all here together, and then hopefully you should be able to get some good and decent profits overall. We also need to have a look at the money itself. And again, all the data that you saw here earlier, you can see also the graph and how this has been going for the past couple of weeks and months. Obviously, somewhere between 300 and 600 has been the norm all the way through. There's another 600. And then we had in July, all of a sudden jumped up to 900, back to 600, then up to 751. and then last week 954, and then look at this particular week here, a massive 1533. So again, some huge jumps in these particular EAs with new all-time highs all the way through, but it's not so strange with the extreme volatile markets at the moment. Currencies are flying up and down all the time, and obviously some of these EAs are definitely taking advantage of this. Now you can find a lot more details again also about the Liberator versions in here. You can also find more details on our PAMM accounts, not just for the RSI, but actually the Wave Liberator account, which is the only one that is currently running. And then the PAMM account, you can also see how we actually put it under the microscope. It is the same style and way that we are looking at finding the right settings. And then the last video up here, where we are also splitting the currency pairs in here in order to track the accounts to see which ones are doing well, which is not doing so well. All of this you can obviously find on our website, and where you can go both on the Wave Liberator RSI, or you can simply go straight to the PAMM account itself where you can find more details. Now we also did a video here this particular week. We decided that this should for now actually only be for the investors for the RSI PAMM account. We want to try and explain what has happened. There seems to be an extensive amount of trading going on within a short period of time, and we are trying to do that particular investigation at the moment to understand what actually happened, what is the reason for it. And if you are interested and you have to be an investor for the RSI PAMM account, then definitely send us an email on the info@hightechinvestment.com. You will also find an email link down there in the video description. So you can simply send us that. We will double check if you were actually an investor on that particular account, and then we will send you a link so you can get an update on what is happening. There is obviously a lot more to have a look at. We are already working with all the involved parties here to see if we can find the right explanations and also learn something from it at the end of the day. In the meantime, let's go and have a look at the High Tech Investment Wave Liberator account. No, we did not have any losses in here. This is actually some investors that has pulled some of their profits out in here, and that was quite a bit for that particular week in here because the drawdowns were coming down on the accounts. I guess a lot of investors decided, okay, let's take some of the profit, and nothing wrong with that. That is definitely a good and acceptable way, but unfortunately it shows up in the FX Blue here as a loss, because if they had been in all the way through here and they have been cashing in quite nicely as it goes, as soon as they take some or part of the entire amount of the money out again, whatever was actually set up and was indicated as profit through these ones here will simply go away, and then it looks like all of a sudden that now the account is in minus. It's a very frustrating way that FX Blue can track it, and we also know therefore use the MQL5, and even here cannot really track it anymore. You'll see that all the red dots that we have up here is the withdrawal request, and there was quite a few withdrawal requests in this particular month in here, and also the big amount, and that's the reason why it looks like actually it had a loss. It far from did it. It did quite well, has done quite well up until now, but it's simply impossible and very frustrating that we can't get to the right numbers. The only way that can do that is the individual investors. They can actually see what they have made, and that should very much be on the positive side. So yeah, a bit frustrating that we are continues to get these details that none of the platforms exactly can calculate, and simply just calculate with the basically the money that is going out without taking also the profit away, and that's the reason why you see these items in here. Now let's have a look at the Lucky Trader. So the Lucky Trader has also been extremely lucky. You will find more about that on the website. So this is now the new fully operational version. This is no longer a demo test. This is no longer a limited test. So that one is running. And also here we have new all-time highs for the lucky trader for week 32. The top 5 EAs we have in here, and we're going to add some additional currency pairs. So very soon. New Zealand USD is the best one with $603 or 6% for the week. US CAD $464 or 4.6% for the week. Here we are calculating on $10,000 accounts, not $1,000 accounts. That's the reason why you see, even though they have higher numbers, the percentage is lower. The Euro Great British Pounds $376 or 3.8%. Great British Pounds USD $368 or 3.7%. And then Euro USD $103 or 1%. Overall, these top 5 here for the week of 32 made $1,915 or 3.8%. And that is definitely also a new all-time high. So incredible weeks that we have seen, especially also this week. You can see the balance should have started. Well, we had 2 in here that lost out during the big turmoil, so with the Forex market. So we have 6 at the moment at 60,000. We have a floating profit or loss that has also come down significantly, down to minus 4,900. Close profit 8,386. And obviously, if we have a look, the total return is 6%. Monthly return is currently calculated at 7.6 for FX Blue. Weekly returns 1.8. Trade wins 66%. And the history is 55 days. So it is ramping up. Some details and information. Again, same data you have in here. And if we have a look at the weekly profits, obviously started off very low, 137. And then after that, things have been moving in the right direction. Last week we had a record-breaking also 1,638, and now it's an all-time high 2017. So everything looks pretty good at the moment for the lucky trader. And we have the new pruning version in here that certainly also helps cashing in a lot of extra at the end of the day, which is great. But all of these different movements in here, last week we actually mentioned here also there's a new free downloading tool from Alex and Expert Forex. This is the trend analysis, basically having a look at both the vibrations, both for the slow and fast vibrations in here. So I do suggest you go and download that tool. It'll give you a bit of an idea of which ones are trending and how long these particular trends are. You can find a lot more details, good information in that particular video here. Alex also have a video this week regarding trading the trending or sideways market, and again trying to explain that some currency pairs has a tendency to do more trending than it does sideways, and those are the ones that you should keep away from. So definitely also a good one to have a closer look at if you are getting started and you want to see exactly what currency pairs are the best ones to trade over time. And the last one that Alex has put in here is another EA, and he will explain a bit more about that in the future. So at the moment, this particular EA on the back test here looks to be doing quite well, 1,700% in 7 months, just using a $1,000 account. You can obviously see the results on this video also here. So if you're interested in new EAs, see what is coming out, then definitely that could be the way forward for you also. So that's what we had for you in this week's news report. As you can see, after weeks and weeks of hardship and drawdown on many of the EAs, things have been turning around. A lot of the EAs seems to be doing a lot better here now. And it says they also cashed in at all-time high profits in here. The question is, what's going to happen next in the Forex market? I do suggest that we are all being very careful to see what is going to happen in the market. So it is highly unstable at the moment. So do yourself a favor, turn down your EAs until the market sort of settles in the normal kind of rhythm, where we do have a chance of getting out of that with our money still safe. So until then, I hope to see you on my other videos or maybe next week's news report. Bye-bye.
I hope you enjoyed our news report. So please don't forget to like and add your comment below, as we would love to get your feedback. But before you go, make sure you subscribe to the channel and don't forget to keep the notification bell turned on. That way, you will never miss any of our future videos. We hope to see you back on this channel very soon.